For those of you who are new here and have not ever followed me on Insta, or you don't know my story, I have PCOS. Well, I had PCOS. So basically, I was diagnosed with PCOS at the age of 18. And I had all of the symptoms, irregular cycles, really bad skin, super stressed, hardly ever got my period. I went on Roaccutane to clear my skin. I was on the pill to try and fix that. When I was diagnosed, basically the doctor, the gynecologist said to me, "You've got PCOS, you've got 10 cysts on each ovary at least. Come back to me when you want to fall pregnant because we'll have to do IVF. Your chances of falling pregnant are pretty much like low to none." And I remember like leaving there like, huh? What do you mean that my lifestyle can't possibly impact this? Where are my solutions for my day-to-day life to help this problem? Like, if I have a problem, like, I'll own it. I'll fix it. Like, I want to take accountability. Maybe I've been doing the wrong things and I didn't know, but I know now, so I'll do better. What are they? Nobody had any answers to that. So I just went digging for everything that I could possibly find. And eventually I found Alyssa Vitti and Dr. Sarah Gottfried, and I modeled what I had learnt from them, the OGs, this is 12 years ago, with what they had back then, which was a decent amount of information, but I feel like I've really expanded on that and gone deeper into different areas that they haven't. And I use that to kind of help to piece together how to naturally balance my hormones for myself. Not because I wanted to fall pregnant at that time. Now I do, obviously, and that's why I'm going back to what I know best, and what I've created, which now is FlowFit, which is pretty much inspired by and modeled off what I had learned all those years ago, and all the things that I put together from a lot of different experts, to be honest. So then I went to the doctor. This was before I fell pregnant, and basically she said to me, she did all my bloods. I said, look, I just want to make sure that I'm healthy. This was actually before I was trying to fall pregnant. Well, I've never actually tried to fall pregnant. This is actually the first time I've tried to fall pregnant. But when I was at the doctor, I said, I want to check up. I want to know, like, how am I going? What are my hormones doing? And I didn't have any of the symptoms. My blood work was perfect. And she basically said to me, well, you don't really like cure PCOS. She's like, but you're as good as cured because you don't have any of the symptoms and your blood work is perfect now. So she's like, what did you do? And I was like, oh, it did work, which was very exciting. And so this is my own protocol that I put together, which is what I'm going to do leading up to falling pregnant for sure. I know that what I've created is exactly what I'm going to need, which is really, really awesome. I have since fallen pregnant and had a baby. She's 4 years old now. Her name's Billy. And now looking back, knowing what I know now, I am so much, I have so much more understanding around what an impact on your body, not only pregnancy, but, the year and a bit that I did for myself anyways, of breastfeeding can do to your body as well. Like, it is very draining. And so building up all of the stores is so important. But the step before that is so much more important. And so balancing your stress, detoxing your body, and then nourishing yourself with like amazing food, training consistently without creating inflammation, those are the foundations. If you don't have those foundations, don't go to IVF, because your chance of miscarrying, if you're inflamed, if you have food sensitivities, if you have IBS, if you have hormonal imbalance, are high. So this is why eating healthily is so important and detoxing is so important. And these are things I'm really going to focus on as I share with you like my whole journey, because I've been detoxing for like literally the last year on and off, and have just basically just checked out, how does my body feel in this, and just gone as hard as my body can allow me to go at the time, given the stresses that I've had. So I don't like to detox when I'm really busy, because it's just way too much load on my body. So I'm just starting to ramp down a little bit again. I'm not as busy as I have been over the last month, over the Christmas period, January, and all that sort of stuff. So now that things are just chilling out a little bit more, Now I'm going to push a little bit harder back into a detox, just clear out anything else that I can while I have time. Use my detox tea every single morning. Just make that, religious, which it is in FlowFit anyway. And making sure that I am getting my sun, making sure that I am taking consistent supplements that I know that are important for me, and just really making sure that my mindset is really where it's meant to be. Because if you're stressed, if you're overwhelmed, if you're busy, and on top of that, you have negative beliefs that don't serve you, well, let me tell you, you're going to pass those on to your kids, okay? Like separation, anxiety, grief, loss, whatever you go through before you fall pregnant, while you're pregnant, when you give birth, when they're young, like you pass on those things to your babies. Energy lives in human bodies. So that's why for me, it's so important to like decode my brain as part of my pregnancy journey.
Okay, so I've just woken up and this morning was meant to be, today could have been a day that Gus and I do the thing, and tomorrow I'm meant to be ovulating. Do I feel like I'm probably going to ovulate tomorrow? I don't know. It could be delayed because I've been so tired this week, but it is likely to be tomorrow. So today is Thursday morning. It is the last day of the youth camp that I'm part of. And being a facilitator is pretty intense. I'm like not even a speaker at this one. This is just part of my volunteer work, and I love to help the kids and get to know them and then see their transformation. It's so unreal, but let me tell you, it is tiring. And it's very much like Tony Robbins does it with his really long seminars. If anyone's done one of those, then you know that they're super, super long, and it's all meant to be like, it's specifically tiring for a reason, because the more physically tired you are, the more emotionally you can sort of break down. But that's helpful, because in that moment you can start to heal, right? You can't heal until you feel. So I'm pretty tired. It's been pretty intense last few days, and do I think we're going to make babies this month? I mean, we've barely seen each other this last week, and so I think we probably missed our January window. Am I bummed about it? No, I think that everything has its divine timing, and we'll do it when it's right. I did mention it to him the other day, though. I was like, January 14, I'm going to be ovulating. But it's so weird. I'm like not really that person where I'm like, I want to make babies. But I did say that to him yesterday, and he laughed at me. But yeah, we've barely seen each other, let alone gonna, have connection and intimate time and all that sort of stuff. So I don't think January is the month. But what am I doing? What am I doing to help myself become more fertile and have a better chance of falling pregnant? Is I'm doing FlowFit. I'm doing my own 6-week Women's Wellness and Weight Loss Challenge, and I'm not doing this one specifically for weight loss. I'm doing this one to make sure that I've nourished my body. So it kind of doubles as, people who want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you could definitely do it. If you just want hormonal balance, you could do it too. But if you want both, it's why it's super effective. But knowing that it's my own program, knowing that everything I know about it, like everything is so planned out to a T. So what I'm doing is, right now I'm in my first half of my cycle. So before you ovulate, you're in the first half of your cycle, and then kind of a few days after you ovulate, until a few days after your period starts, you're in your second half. So right now I'm in my first half, so I've been doing my first half FlowFit training plans, and because we've been at camp, I haven't been able to do my first half nutrition plans in FlowFit, but I will be doing that. I've also been making sure I've been grounding, meditating and journaling throughout the day. So those are really like the 3 daily practices that are part of FlowFit, that are like non-negotiables that you do, whether it's the first half or the second half of your cycle. And those are always so powerful for me, especially when it comes to, balancing my nervous system, building my stress resilience, and just coping better with stress and with life. Anywho, I've got to get Billy ready for school, but I just wanted to share where I'm up to in my journey. And it's so exciting that I know that there are so many of you following this. especially because you know that this is like pretty much my area of expertise. Anything to do with hormonal balance is making you more fertile. So I'm really excited that there are some of you that are following me and doing this with me as well. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more. I think next time I'll share what supplements I'm on as well, and the detox journey that I've been on too. So that's coming soon.
Don't know how this happened, but Gus and I are basically wearing the same thing, and me and Alex are basically wearing the same thing. Like, we're actually triplets, guys. What? Billy, what about you? Billy?
Okay, so I really want to keep you guys updated, obviously, on what's going on. And at the moment, I'm feeling as though I'm probably not going to try to fall pregnant in January. So I just think it's a little bit much. And what I'm trying to do, and what I know is so important, is to not be stressed. And I just think I'm overdue for a holiday, which is kind of funny because there's probably a reason why a lot of people fall pregnant on a holiday is because they're not stressed. And the whole reason why that is so important is because stress steals your progesterone, and progesterone is something that you very, very much need. It's the thing that when you ovulate, you get, but it's also the thing that you need before ovulating as well. Because if you don't have progesterone because it's being stolen by stress hormones, then your chance of having a regular cycle decreases as well. So it's not just the fact that, once you ovulate, you need it. You're building it for 3 months prior to that, and that your body is just going to rely on that rhythm. And so if that rhythm isn't there because you don't have progesterone because you're so stressed, then you're really going to suffer, especially with the predictability around your cycle. You're not really going to know roughly kind of when you're ovulating, and your cycles will be irregular, because one of the symptoms of low progesterone is irregular cycles, because basically you just don't have enough to counteract the estrogen and the other hormones, but mainly the estrogen that you have circulating through your body. Maybe you can't metabolize that or detox that or get rid of that, or maybe you just haven't been able to make enough progesterone because it's been so busy kind of being used up for stress hormones. Which brings me to another point about how important it is to detox. We live in a world where, the whole way that our society is kind of set up, we are like exposed to a lot of toxicity, and that's okay. Like internal toxicity as well. Like our cells go through, the processes that they go through on a daily basis, like kind of means that they've got a whole bunch of garbage that needs to be, like the trash needs to be taken out. And so they produce their own toxins, but that's okay. Our body knows that that's happening. And so it's good at cleaning up the mess. Like we have detoxification systems for this exact reason. The only problem is that when that internal system is burdened by the internal stuff going on, largely because of like stress, diet, exercise, lifestyle, all that kind of stuff, and the additional things that we're exposed to, it really becomes a problem then when we're also trying to battle like environmental toxins as well. So we've got like our own body is overwhelmed with the own stuff that it does itself on like a regular basis, and then you've got all these other like on top of that, like external things that are going on too. So you've got like, chemical exposures, you stand on a street and you breathe in like all this petrol and all these fumes. Like maybe someone next to you is smoking a cigarette. Maybe someone next to you has sprayed deodorant. Like all those little things are really contribute to the burden of our detoxification system. The reason that is so important is because
it's so effective when you can actually detoxify your body before falling pregnant, because the problem is if you then are going to fall pregnant and you've got 2 years worth of, you know, basically like pregnancy plus maybe breastfeeding, your body is not going to want to like liberate those toxins at all. So it becomes a bit of a body burden for the kind of 2 years or thereabouts. And that's me anyway. I say 2 years because I'm kind of planning on about a year and a bit of breastfeeding if I can, which is what I did with Billy. And I feel like at that point I was like, yeah, I'm done now. I need my body back, thanks. But yeah, it's really important to know that, you know, there's potentially going to be like a 2, maybe 3 year period, or maybe even 1 year period where your body's not going to want to liberate toxins. And so you might feel pretty crappy because your body's not going to want to give that to your baby as you're growing it. It's not going to want to give that to your baby as you're breastfeeding it. So you're kind of going to be the one who's like kind of having to be burdened with those toxins and deal with the symptoms that gives you. So it's a really good idea to detoxify. Now, I'm going to try and go into some supplements I would recommend. I might not go into what I'm taking necessarily like the full thing because I'm doing a few different things at the moment, and it's sort of, there's also some residual stuff I'm doing from another detox protocol. But if I was you and I was falling or wanting to fall pregnant, I'm going to give you a little bit of a lineup of what I think is going to be the best kind of protocol for you to go on. Like, I think that there is a good like kind of few months of you know, a few months where it should really be your prep work, where you're not even trying to fall pregnant yet. You know, it's preconception, it's prenatal. So you do the detox and then you do all the prenatal stuff when you're trying to fall pregnant, and then you fall pregnant and then it changes again. It's like this whole like treatment protocol. So I look forward to sharing that with you in the next vlog.